Hello friends, my name is Deepak Dwivedi and I will be sharing some vision with you. First of all, Swami Vivekananda went to Kanyakumari on 23rd of December 1892 and for 3 days and 3 nights he fasted, and on 27th of December he had a vision of one India, Grand India. He could visualize the problems that our countrymen were facing. He could see the country's past, present and future. He had this grand vision. He wanted to do so many things for the society, and wherein he got the inspiration that he should go to the United States, the World Religious Conference, and seek the best of what the Western countries had to offer, the culture of the East, and have some kind of a synchronization, sharing of best practices, international benchmarking, and with this aim he went to the United States. Now, when Swami Vivekananda was going in that ship, he had Mr. Jamshedji Tata along with him, and both of them were discussing on various issues. And in Japan, they were discussing that what are the best practices that we can take from Japan and Japanese people, their tradition, their political system, their economic system, their education system, and how we could implement those best practices in our country so that the entire ecosystem of the country could evolve. Then they came up with an idea that we should start a university. And then obviously after that the discussion phase, both of them went their separate ways. Then in around 1898, Jamshedji Tata wrote a letter to Swami Vivekananda asking him to become the director of the university that he was proposing to start. Vivekananda knew that he would die shortly, citing spiritual reasons. He said he cannot take the offer to become the director of that university. He died in 4th July 1902 and the university work was started in 1908. So this vision was incomplete. Sometime back, Ratan Tata spoke to university, which was obviously funded by the Tatas, and he said that he is not satisfied with the quality of output that is coming from that particular university. So the thought came in my mind that let's start Mahavidya University to evolve this ecosystem in our country. And Mahavidya University, we will offer trainings in BSc in Process Excellence, MSc in Process Excellence, BSc, MSc in Knowledge Management, and then focusing on creativity and innovation, solving the actual grassroots level problems this country is facing and this world is facing, because we believe in the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we decided to start Mahavidya University. Then, since we wanted to focus on the entire national level, we had this thought that why not start Mahavidya schools. Now you have these Christian convent schools and they indoctrinate systematically, subliminally, and convert them into Christians or the Muslims, right? So we had this idea that why not start a Mahavidya network of schools. We will have school in each district, Mahavidya schools, and via this we will integrate the best practices of knowledge management and process excellence in the education sector. So this was the thought process. Apart from that, the idea was we should have an international institute of process excellence. We will work as management consultants, obviously on a non-profit level, and we will provide consulting to the education sector, healthcare sector and the governance sector. Now, what's this all about? Like you have NCC, National Cadet Corps, you have NSS, National Social Service. Similarly, we will have process excellence teams all over India in each school, college and university. You have, for the students get 10 grace marks when they participate in NCC and NSS. Similarly, the students will get 10 grace marks if they participate in process excellence teams. The students, with the help of their faculty, will take quality circle projects, 5S projects, Kaizen projects, right? And the tools of quality management and knowledge management, and implement them in their particular surroundings, local level, grassroots level, right? And slowly this process excellence teams will start working in different corners of the country, and that within a 3 years time the entire ecosystem will evolve, and the discussion, the vision that Jamshedji Tata and Swami Vivekananda shared will come to reality. So this is the thought process of Mahavidya University and Mahavidya network of schools and colleges all over this country. Of course, just for Mahavidya University, we require 2,100 crore rupees for that entire setup, and I would seek the help of Mr. Ratan Tata, Tata Group of Companies, for mentorship, guidance and support. And also I'll request the entire countrymen, brothers and sisters of this country, to contribute, participate, guide, mentor this project. And also the most important thing is feedback. So feedback is something that we really need, right? Because obviously we will be making mistakes, but we are open to seeking feedback and correcting our mistakes, filling the gaps and evolving to the next level. Now this evolution will happen at the individual level, family level, social level, then the national level. Who will play that role? So Swami Vivekananda had said that if I get 10 or 12 boys with the faith of Nachiket, I can turn the thoughts and pursuits of this country in a new channel. Now here one thing is very important. Let's compare and contrast Swami Vivekananda and Chanakya. Chanakya, Acharya Vishnugupta, did not say, give me 10 or 12 boys with the faith of Chandragupta and I will turn the thoughts and pursuits of Magad Empire in a new channel. He took a small kid, trained him for 12 years, right? Instilled those qualities that he was seeking in that kid and overturned the political social system in Magad and installed him as the emperor, Chandragupta Maurya, right? Samrat Chandragupta Maurya, you know about him. I will not blame Vivekananda because he knew that he will die young, he will die at the age of 39. He had predicted that he will not live beyond 40. And the conditions, social conditions, economic conditions, political conditions of the country at that particular time was not conducive enough for development of that Nachiket thought process, right? People were still struggling for solving the issues of stomach and lower organs of these of the physical body. They were not able to focus on the heart and their brain part, right? So Vivekananda could not create those Nachikets, right? But now the time has come. We will seek 10 or 12 boys or girls with the faith of Nachiket. We will train them, we will guide them, we will mentor them, and as a Nachiketacharya, it would be my responsibility with the divine blessings of my Guru Shri Ram Prasad Paramhans, who is staying in Garud Chetty, Rishikesh, and we will see that this project becomes successful. So that's the logic behind International Institute of Process Excellence. That's the logic behind Mahavidya University, Mahavidya network of schools. Next comes is education sector. How we will evolve the education sector and these Nachikets, what they are bound to do. First of all, if we have to learn something from the Japanese, we can learn from them Kaizen culture and Six Sigma. That's the greatest gift to mankind, according to me. So what we intend to do is, every student in this country, be it at the school level, college level or university level, will be trained in Six Sigma white belt and Six Sigma yellow belt. Every teacher in this country will be trained up to Six Sigma green belt level. Every principal, HOD, dean will be trained up to black belt level. Every vice chancellor, chancellor, registrar of the university, deputy registrar of the university will be trained up to master black belt level, and they will have trainings in 5S, ISO, Kaizen, quality circle. These projects will happen. So this is the work that Nachikets will be doing, and at the social level the trainings will be available in all the regional languages and gradually all the known languages of the world, because someone at the level of Vivekananda obviously will not confine himself to evolution of Indian's ecosystem, but he has to take a broader view, holistic view, the cosmic view. He has to consider the entire world as one system. So of course we need a team of Nachikets in all corners of the world, right, who will be working on this. That's the next part. Now, how we will apply process excellence and knowledge management to take care of the healthcare system. Now let's see this. What is the current issue in the healthcare system? A, the cost of treatment is very high, right? Quality is very low. The cost is high, quality is low. We need to reverse this trend. Quality should be the highest possible and the cost has to be the least possible. How will this take place? Again, process excellence, knowledge management and the team of Nachikets. How? So what I am proposing is that we should have 100% subsidy for medical education in this country. And we say, but then where we will generate the resources from? How we will get the money? We will be needing around 3,600 crore rupees approximately on an annual basis. Now we have the money. Believe me, our country has the money. If we can spend 300 crore rupees to build a statue of Shivaji in Mumbai, we can as well as use those 300 crore rupees to take care of the healthcare system, the school education system in a country. If in UP, one local political leader can build statues, elephant statues and statues of herself around 40,000 crore rupees, in that 40,000 crore rupees, we can have free medical education for the entire next 10 to 15 years, possibly 20 years or the entire lifetime. Right? So it's not that we don't have the money, it's not that we don't have the resources, it's just that they need to be properly synchronized. That political will has to be there, that awareness has to be there, and that awareness will be created by the team of Nachikets who will operate at various levels. Then governance factor. We will have the team of Nachikets will act as consultants, trainers, service providers, and we would like to see a situation where all the IAS officers, right, all the government officers, all the judicial service officers are trained in ISO, Six Sigma, 5S, Kaizen, Quality Circle. They have to become the experts in process excellence for them to deliver the services, efficient services every time. Right? That effectiveness has to be there, that efficiency has to be there. So this again work will be taken care of by team of Nachikets. So this in short is the vision I have right now. And then finally we have this concept of 4 Alpha. I had gone to Bangalore 2 years back and I had given a presentation on the concept of 4 Alpha. What is this 4 Alpha all about? Now, Vivekanand was accused of implementing the management techniques in Indian spirituality. This is I read in one of the books by the Sangh Parivar in Hindu Jagruti Kendra, Mumbai. So the point is, what can we do? How can we implement the best practices, benchmark international level, and take care of the Indian spirituality, the Indian ethos, the Indian culture? So that is where the concept of 4 Alpha comes into the picture. Now we have Artha, Kam, Dharma, Moksha. So I have called it Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Alpha 3, Alpha 4, and all we cannot ignore one at the cost of another. Our countrymen, every Bharatiya citizen of Aryavart has to be fully competent in the pursuit of Arth, pursuit of Kam, pursuit of Dharma, and pursuit of Moksha. That awareness has to be there, that skill set, competency has to be there, that guidance has to be there. So this entire framework of 4 Alpha, I'll be sharing it in a book soon. It's there on a slide share, PowerPoint presentation is there, and on the website I will share this details with you very soon. This is the vision that I'm sharing with you. I cannot do it alone. It's a teamwork. And even if I could do it alone, there is more fun, more sense of fulfillment, joy, enrichment if we work as a team. So it's not I, it's we. We will do it together. We will do it for the benefit of the entire nation, the win-win situation, win-win scenario. Right? And hopefully the task that was assigned by Gurudev, Ramakrishna Paramhans to Narendra Dutt will be fulfilled. The task that Vivekanand, when he was dying, he knew that a lot of work was unfulfilled. A lot of projects and initiatives that he had in his mind did not start. So soul of Vivekanand will rest in peace, right? And the task that the Guruji had assigned to him will be completed. Thank you so much.